This is Steve from SewingGold.com, and we're going to show you how to unjam a DNU-1541S. If you have thread caught in between the hook assembly and the hook base, first thing we're going to do is remove the bobbin case. Okay, now ours is not jammed, so we're going to be able to turn it, but the first thing after that, we're going to take the position finger off. It's very tight. Okay, so yours may not come off as easy as ours. Sometimes that piece is stuck on there and you may have to wedge a screwdriver in between to get it off. Ours looks like it's already just going to fall off. But like I said, sometimes they're stuck in there a little bit and you may have to wedge it out. And just make sure you don't lose anything. There's another piece right underneath there which just dropped out. Which will go back on like that. Okay. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is make the hook assembly turn until we see there's three little screws that we're going to have to take out. So keep turning it. Not those ones. Go to the clip. This piece right here. That's what we want to take off. Okay, so there's three screws. You're going to need the exact screwdriver, and hopefully this is the right one, and we're going to have to stop the video for 1 second grab. No? Another screwdriver? Okay, we're going to get another screwdriver and be right back. Okay, we were able to grab the right screwdriver. Now you got to be really careful not to lose those screws. Your oil pan's underneath there, so you should be okay. Remember, we're just removing this one clip. It's got three screws, not the other clip that we first started trying to remove. And you may want to use like a magnetic screwdriver. Okay, now that clip, let me show that clip. That piece is what's holding the hook base on. Okay? Right, so now we want to take that off. Do we have to move this to take it off? No. Okay, I want to take it out.
Yeah, I'm moving it.
Okay, so now we're going to have to grab an Allen wrench. Okay, now we're going to need an Allen wrench or a hex key. And what Alberto's going to do right now is he's going to mark this piece so he knows exactly where it lines back up. So just use marking it with a red marker. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take that off. And now, see, if your hook assembly is jammed, it may not come out quite that easy as ours. Put it back in for 1 second. Now that hook base came out real easy. Now, if yours is in there really tight, you may have to go from underneath, and wedge it against this piece here. See this side piece here? And turn. Okay, you're going to want to go right against this edge right here and push. Okay, otherwise you could, if you put the screwdriver somewhere else, you could break it. Alright, so we're going to take it back out. Take it out again. Take it out. Okay, so now once we take it out, the thread is going to be caught inside here. Okay? Or it'll be on your hook base. Okay, make sure you take that out, and then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put some oil around the edge of the hook base. Okay, so when you put it back in there, in that slot, you're going to have oil. Okay, so we're going to put it back. You may have to turn it a little bit to get it to go back in. Okay. Now we're going to put the clip back on. Like I said, magnetizing these screws is going to be a good thing. Or magnetizing your screwdriver. Because if you lose those screws, it's going to be very difficult to get the screws that are the same. Alright, so basically Alberto's going to screw the 3 screws back in, and then I'm going to pause the video and come back after he has those in there. Okay, now that we have the clip back on and everything's moving freely, we're going to put that bottom piece back on that Alberto marked. You got to make sure that the hook basket is in the right position. Okay, where we lined it up, where we marked it. And you want it flush, so that little shaft there flush with the back of the part. It's a little tricky to get in there with an Allen wrench. If you have an individual Allen wrench, set up a whole set like he's using, it might be a little easier. Okay, so after he gets that in there, we'll come right back again. I'm going to pause the video. Okay, now that's in the right position. Now we're going to put the position finger back. Okay, let's show them how that goes back together. Other way. Okay, so the way it's going to go back in is just like this. Hold on, let me reverse out of there. Okay. This is also very tricky to get back in because your fingers are bigger than the slot that it's going into. Alright, so I'm going to pause the video again until he gets that back in there, and then we'll show you how to put it in the right slot. Okay, so now that he's got the screw in that little slot, he's screwing the position finger back. We really got to make sure that the position finger itself, there's a slot. If you could see that slot, okay, so both of those pieces, there's a slot in the top of the bobbin case where the needle pretty much comes down. Let me move your hands for 1 second over. Let me get in there. Okay. Can you point to the piece with the screwdriver? I got it, actually. So this little slot here on the hook basket, that little piece, this other piece is that position finger that we were talking about, goes in between. So this piece of the position finger goes in between the slot right there on your hook basket, and then this piece right here is where the needle is going to actually come through. Alright, so you got to make sure that's in between there, and then you tighten your screw. And then really tighten that real hard. Okay, and now both pieces should revolve independently of each other. So your hook assembly should be revolving around the hook basket, and now it won't be jammed any longer.